Aloha Mai Kako, a Komo Maida Curtain Call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. The Maui Onstage Education and Youth Program is presenting Todd Willinger's Bringing Down the House, co-directed by Tina Kailiponi and Francis Tawa. Mr. Willinger got bitten by the theater bug at the age of 11 as an unusually large munchkin in his hometown of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin's Community Theater's production of Wizard of Oz. Rather than pursuing his first love, he got a practical degree in electrical engineering. However, his passion got the best of him when he established a children's theater company in Colorado Springs, Colorado in 2005. It was there he discovered his true calling, playwriting. He has written several plays for the youth market, focusing on light-hearted comedies with over-the-top characters. We're in New York City, uptown in the 90s or hundreds. We're told it's just about 52 blocks from Broadway. A group of workers are carrying onto the stage several boxes of dynamite. The boss, Jerry, Peter Hanohano, is having a hard time with his crew, who seem to have missed the safety briefing regarding the handling of dynamite. When they leave to get their tools, enter the book writer, Sidney Noah McCann, the composer, Jules Rocco Dahl, and the lyricist, Elliot Parker Savage. They are planning to have a backers audition of their show, Invasion of the Booty Snatchers. At the end of a 6-week period, they believe they have rented the rundown theater for that time. In comes the landlord, Leslie Halaela Kanikoa, with her assistant, Trish, Kailana Robalino. When they confront the landlord, she informs them the theater is going to be destroyed, and in its place will be a state-of-the-art parking garage. They believe they have a lease their agent negotiated. Leslie demands they produce it. Enter the agent, Mona Wyatt Heinlein, who produces the crumpled lease, and they realize there is a condemnation clause that makes the lease null and void. As the landlord is telling them they must vacate the premises immediately, Jules informs her that she is required to give them 24 hours notice to vacate. She realizes this is true, and so they decide to do the show at noon, just 2 hours away. Mona is dispatched to get the angels there. When the director, Cameron Winston Campbell, finally arrives with his assistant, Robin Bluebird Hammonds, in tow, and is informed of the situation, he has a conniption. Robin uses this as an opportunity to do more than get lattes for Cameron. She wants to direct. Cameron puts the kibosh on that notion and makes it clear she is a gopher and he is the artist. He agrees to give it a go, and in bursts a young woman, Carly, Ruby Kingdon, and her mother, Sharon, Autumn Cooney. They inform Cameron they are here to audition. When he informs them the show is cast, they insist. And when Carly starts to do her song, one which Cameron obviously cannot stand, he stops her before she can get a note out and tells her she's got the part. Joyous, they go off to check out the theater. Now enters the rest of the production team. The costume designer, Ina Amaya Locke, the set designer, Riley Sienna Nagata, and the sound engineer, Faye Sasha Mizell. Needless to say, they are challenged by the attenuated timeline. The first actors arrive. They are seasoned Broadway veterans Glenda, Chelsea Hedquist, and Bernard Capono Goring. They take the changes in stride, even when Elliot comes bounding in with the last-minute changes. Talk about a mishigas. And I haven't even talked about the other actors dancers, especially the diva Yvonne, also played by Alana Robalino, or the protesters, or the mayor's people. Will Mona convince the angels to come with less than 2 hours' notice? Can Cameron pull the show together? Will the theater be demolished? Will Jules and Elliot finish the 11th hour number? Will Robin get a chance to direct? And 100 other questions. In this madcap, over-the-top slapstick farce, you have just 3 more chances to see at the historic Iau Theater in Wailuku, Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 3. There are 30 actors playing 36 parts. Talk about a really big shoe. Some in the cast are veterans already, and for others, this is their first time on stage. Again, Ms. Kailiponi and Mr. Tawa have taken this huge group and turned them into a fine-tuned theatrical ensemble. This show is complex. The entrances are not just from the usual stage left and stage right, but they enter through the house and on the second level above the stage floor. This was a clearly well-rehearsed group who were all having fun, and so were we. Mr. Willinger has created a play that gives every member of the cast at least one moment to shine. The story, which stretches credibility beyond the farthest realms of fantasy, is a lot of fun, and he has filled it with over-the-top characters. At the top of that list is Winston Campbell's egomaniacal director Cameron. He personifies every stereotype anyone has had for a full of himself boss of the show. The two seasoned actors, Glenda Chelsea Hedquist, who arrives in a spectacular caftan with a gold turban, and Bernard Capono Goring in a huge Hefner-esque silk robe, are not so much over the top as they are absolutely sure of themselves, even in the face of what seems to be insurmountable objects. The diva, Yvonne, played by Alana Robolino, comes on with a persona crossed between the fiery Patti LuPone, a little Liza, and ultra-competitive Ethel Merman. Then there is Ms. Kingdon, who is in a class by herself. Her Carly is a perfect ambitious auditioner, and her mugging was hilarious. But her physical work and projection were perfect. This young lady has range and talent. I encourage you to read her What Theater Means to Me in their online program. Not only is she a fine actress, but she expresses herself lyrically like a poet. Parker Savage as the lyricist Elliot wasn't so much over the top as emotionally fraught. Then there are those who went for real people. Master Dahl as Jules was truthful, composed, and thoughtfully in command. He knows how to project, and he understood who this character was. As the book writer, Sidney Noah McCann also went for truth and succeeded completely. As Carly's mom, Glenda, Chelsea Hedquist, is the quintessential stage mom. Her moment delivering Carly's resume, headshot, reference letters, photos from her shows, a thumb drive, and her first baby tooth was priceless.
Done yet. Here is a letter of recommendation from her voice teacher, a photo album with all her latest media clippings, a thumb drive with all her greatest dance performances, and her first baby tooth.
Bluebird Heyman's Robin is an ambitious, willing to do anything assistant. She masks her frustration at her lot with reasonable restraint. But when she gets a chance to lead, she falls automatically into the Cameron ego trap. Sam Costello as Dylan Blake had a hand puppet. He was enjoying immensely, and no one seemed to react as if it were out of the ordinary. Barry Kawakami and Wave of Harmony Foundation, in partnership with the Gilbert and Elaine Cam Chuck Charitable Trust, get the gratitude for sponsoring this show. Overall, everyone did stellar work on this huge production. Maui on Stage has built an exceptional theater training center for our young people. This program continues to grow and produce quality youth theater. Ms. Kailiponi and Mr. Tawa should take a curtain call and receive a standing ovation for a job well done. Bringing Down the House continues for this weekend only, 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday and Sunday at 3 p.m. at the historic EL Theater. For tickets and information, go to mauionstage.com. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo nui loa for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Ahui ho.